Hello and welcome. In this video, I will demonstrate how you can import data files into the KIWI ExploreLive module. I will cover two different cases. First, I will demonstrate how you can upload data files that are stored on a local computer drive. And then I will demonstrate how you can import data files that are already stored in the KIWI database. The ExploreLive module can process any kind of ASCII file, so a text-based file. The minimum requirement is that the information contained in the data file must be something that can be represented as a table of data. So with the same number of fields in each row of your data file. First, I will show how you can upload data files from a local computer drive. To do that, you must open ExploreLive through the Knowledge Portal by clicking on the ExploreLive tile. This will open an ExploreLive session. And the data module will include a first tab entitled Upload from Local Drive. It will contain three panels, dataset 1, 2, and 3. Each of those panels provide the same functionality and allow you to upload a single dataset. So a total of 3 datasets can be uploaded from your local drive. You just have to click on the Browse button. Then you navigate to the folder of interest. By default, only the CSV file will be visible. If you click on the field at the bottom and select all files, all the files contained in your selected folder will be displayed. And you will be able to at least attempt to upload any of those files to KIWI Live, ExploreLive. So I'm going to select the demo.csv. You can see the completion bar reporting the success of the upload. The remainder of the dataset panel relates to how the data will be processed after the upload is complete. There are a number of fields available, and their default settings is basically applicable to a standard CSV file. So you want to process a standard ASCII table. The separator of data is going to be comma. Typically, your data file has a header that will define the name of the variables contained by your dataset. Whether you want to coerce a character variable to factor, this is something that is more internal to R. I'm going to skip that. Sometimes you want to you have dataset that contain single or double quotes, and sometimes you may want to strip those double quotes or single quotes to successfully process your data. The next field define all the characters or combinations of characters that will be considered as missing value. So when the KIWI ExploreLive reads your data, if it finds NA or dot or NaN, by default it will consider that as missing value. You can edit that field, and if you have specific content in your data set that indicate missing data, you may actually define that custom sets of characters. The final field define the number of lines that ExploreLive can skip at the top of your data set. So let's say you had a couple of rows at the top of your data set that were defining what was in the data set or providing other information, you can skip between 0 to as many lines as you want. So in that, in the case of demo.csv, I'm going to keep the default settings. And if you click on View Content, you can see that the data has been successfully processed, and KIWI ExploreLive will provide a summary of that data, including the number of rows and columns, some statistics on each of the variable, and at the bottom of the this tab, you can see a more detailed view of the data with a spreadsheet-like display. You can scroll across the different columns. This panel provides various functionalities to increase the number of entry that you see by default, and it can provide also a search field. It's a very basic search field. It will try to find fields that literally match your text. So and it's going to put some wildcard around what you type. So anything that is on the left of what you type and on the right will be will not be matched. So if I type male, for example, its female will still be recognized as a match for male. But if I were to type 0.5, for example, I will have a match here at 0.5, but I will also have a match here at 0.5. So you see that it's a very basic search. This table is not editable, so you cannot modify the content of the data through this panel. It's basic reporting panel. If you try to upload a data set that is somehow corrupted or that do not match the requirements of dimension that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you will get some form of error message at the bottom. Sometimes you can find some KIWI can identify what was wrong with your data. So in this case, in your the data set on line 328, there was less elements than found in the first lines. So that helps you identify what might be the problem in your data. If you were trying to upload, you know, a PDF or Word document, this would be also something that would be reported here. You can also upload a space delimited data set. So this is literally the same data set, but instead of using a comma separator, I will use a space delimiter. So you're going to use any white space. And I will go to the data content to show you that the space data spaces. Well, actually, it's not the same data, but it was a space delimited data set. So this this demonstrates how you can import data set from a local drive. And we'll now switch to the second case where you want to work from a KIWI module and send or export a data set from this module into ExploreLive. So there are 4 different KIWI modules where you can perform that action. The workbench, manage, summarize page, and visualize. In workbench, you can select 1 or more data sets. So I'm going to try to find something that is not completely irrelevant. So I'm going to select 4 different data sets, and I will open ExploreLive. So in that case, we open a new session, and you can see that the first tab is slightly different. In this case, we have the title is called Automated Upload. The data set that you provide, you selected were are listed in the first panel. And you also see the 3 data import box that we've described earlier. The only difference is that the first panel is not does not include a browse button, but it's a selection field, and you can select from any of those files and then process them the same way you've processed the data after local upload from a local drive. So you can follow the same approach from the Manage page. You will have to go to the Data for Exploration tab. And from here, you can select not only data set, but also NumM output tables. So in that case, I'm going to select 2 different models, tables, and the input data set. And I'm going to click on ExploreLive. Again, an ExploreLive session opens. It has the same design as the case where the dataset were selected from Workbench. So you have your list of datasets and tables. It gives me the opportunity to demonstrate how you can process a table. So a NumM table can be processed by selecting actually this type of file, and then depending on the format option that you've used in your NumM run, you will have to select either white space or comma, depending on what you like to put in your tables. The other options are pretty much applicable to NumM output. The number of lines to skip are enforced because NumM tables have a very strictly defined format with a first line that can be ignored. Your table variables are located on the second line. So again, if you have to work on a NumM table, just select the file type NumM output table. You select your separator, and this will typically allow you to process your NumM table successfully. I'm going to close that. From a summarize page, you can open or export either the input dataset or the output table. This will give you the same results as the one that I demonstrate for Manage. Similarly, in Visualize, you can open ExploreLive for the output table or the dataset.